Okay. Let's see how this goes. New setup, new things. Sounds good. Looks good. Well, it looks okay anyway. Yes. We're definitely going to need to move a few things around. Pardon. Just a moment. So we move this around and do little adjustments. Yeah, now I can see it. All right, cool. How's it going, guys? So we have a new shooting location, new set. All of this back here, which is still being processed. Hey, how's it going? Board art. I'm sorry. Reading's awesome, but we have this whole new setup going on. I gotta take these down here, and I gotta get another. I think I might probably actually take all of this down. I got my suits hanging up behind me. You're back in the tiny room again. No, I'm not actually. I'm in the living room now. The living room's much more spacious. It's going to give me a little bit more to work with, a little bit more to do. I think that works out okay. But let's see. Oh my God, hi. I'm so glad you're streaming today. You make my day so much better. Oh, well, that's awesome. I hope it's for good reasons. I don't know why I make your day better, but I am glad that I'm doing so. Just move my mic up just a bit. We're still working through some shit. But yeah, so this will be our new setup from presumably now on. Let's see. Thank God I didn't miss this one. Awesome. Yes, you seem to have missed all the others. So great. Thanks for joining. Yeah, the living room is going to work out really well, mainly because I'll have a much bigger backsplash. It's like we were in the apartment. We've moved back from the apartment to here, to this house, because we really no longer need the apartment. And this is going to give me a little bit more area to work. Spyn in the background looks like a serial killer. Yeah, it does. It's just one of those things. It's looking really good. Yeah, again, this has to come off. I used to have the TVs and things over here along with my my other setup. So there's a huge mount assembly there. But to duplicate that over there, and now I have a massive TV sitting right over my fireplace, which is super awesome. But it took just an act of Congress to get it up there. But all right, so let's see. First hunting season, boys. Yeah. I mean, Jolt, I don't know, man. But looks like I'm ahead of you in that, because I've already got like 3. But heads on the walls. That's right. So catch up, man. Catch up. I don't know how many you got. So presumably I'm leading by 3, but I don't know, man. Yeah. So this is basically it. This is our update. This is what we're doing. I think just to make things easier. Hold on. Let me just adjust this. And yeah, we'll just take the camera and be all kinds of useful with it. And then we'll bring this back. And there we go. And that's going to be a little bit better, because that will give me a little bit more room and I'll be able to see you. I got 9 because I'm poor. No kidding, man. These things are expensive. Spyn, I really have no idea if this is a question that's been asked before, but do you draw? Not well. Not well at all. My girlfriend draws. She's much better than I am in all regards. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Andy. And Aiden, I think. What is your New Year's resolution? Probably just to lose weight, be back in better shape, and generally be more dedicated to this whole channel thing, so that you guys get good shit. I'm sorry, my typing is off today. No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Not a big deal. We're all just, this is really, really informal. I'm really just making sure that none of my equipment has cracked or broken, which, you know, that's good. I don't think it has, but it might have. But keep my hat on because my hair shit today. Your stuff is already really good. Is good enough. There is no good enough. I appreciate that. I appreciate the sentiment, but you can never rest on your laurels, as they say. It's like you should be driving forward, ever onward, trying to be better than you were the previous day. So each day you can make little improvements, and over a month's time, those little improvements, they stack. They stack, man. They get really, really big. You know, it's just like saving $1 every day. Well, you know, doesn't seem like that much, but if you save $1 every day, it's a lot over time. Let's see. Looking good, Spyn. Thanks, Undertaker. Connor, what do you do? What did you do for Christmas? I was mainly snowed in, so you know. Firestorm, Screech. Neat. In 6 hours, I'll have to go to work. That sucks. That sucks, Gun. That's true. Never thought about it that way. Yeah, you should always think about it that way. Spyn wants to become the American Artemis. I don't know if that's what I'll do, but soon he will be talking to himself in funny voices off camera too. It's possible. I talk to myself a lot. That's probably not a good sign, really, but it's okay. Gonna wait 67 minutes. Okay. Let's see. But yeah, so we had a number of different things that were planned, and we ended up moving a lot. We've been moving and bouncing back and forth a whole lot. Nothing's been wrong. It's just been what we've had to do to institute the move back up to Tennessee from Georgia. So there's been a lot of like way stations and moving things here to get them here, and it's been kind of a nightmare, but it's still better than using a U-Haul to do things. Sammy, hi, Sammy. How are you? You doing well? You doing well, Sammy? Let's see. I see your fursuit in the background. Yeah, there's both of them there, and then there's Ink's head back there behind me. I'm doing pretty good. You? Yeah, I'm doing great, actually. I'm doing really well. You know, just kind of getting the house set back up. Now, putting all of my filming equipment dead center in the living room has definitely kind of messed the progress up a bit. So I'm going to have to like find new places for all of this stuff and put it somewhere so it's out of the way and it doesn't look bad. I think I've got a place for it though. I'm just going to put it right over there and just kind of keep it off to its own self, and that should be okay. And hopefully that's not in everybody's way. At Spyn, it's okay to talk to yourself, lol. I do it too. Yourself is the best friend. Talking to yourself is because they're only one who understands. It's fine. I mean, that's fair, but if you start arguing with yourself, you know, and you start winning against yourself, it can be a little confusing in the upstairs parts. Spyn, what's for dinner? I'll probably make lamb with like cherry tomatoes and maybe rice cauliflower. Probably that. Unless I go out and then get some other vegetables and things. Really need some other things. Let's see. My parents don't know I'm into furry. I don't know how to tell them. They tend to be pretty judgmental. Any advice? Well, being a furry is not a sexuality. So you're lucky there. So you don't have to worry about any kind of real harsh judgment. If they have preconceived notions about the fandom, it's basically the same thing as being into cosplay, being into gaming, you know, any type of things like that. You're just into a certain genre, sci-fi, fantasy. You may or may not choose to do fursuiting. it's really not that important to try to come out, as they say, to your parents about that. Again, I've used this analogy a number of times, so much so that I forgot who said it originally, and I should definitely credit them because it's the best way I've ever heard. If you are trying to come out to your parents as a furry, it is the same thing as trying to come out as a basketball player or something else. It's just that society doesn't necessarily accept furry culture very well, and that's predominantly due to the media and how we've been portrayed in the past, and how that's kind of given people an idea of who we are now. So let's see. Could you help me revive General Sherman? I don't think so. I don't think I could help you do that. I have no real power to do things like that, although I appreciate you believing in me. Let's see. I don't have much of any conversation topics to bring up today, so I'll just listen to you. You always have something interesting to say. That's great that you think that, because that's basically what I do. I just stand in front of this and I talk to you guys, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. I'm not entirely certain if this is in focus. It may just be my eyes, how close I am to the TV, but it seems like it's a little out of focus. I'm not sure if that's right or not. I think it is, but we'll see. I'm going to step back a bit and set forward a bit. Okay, yeah, that's good. I would love to see a furry D&D game. There's plenty of those about. It's a bit blurry. Yeah, all right. Since it is a bit blurry, I'm going to do a trick. I'm going to show you guys how I do this. When I need to focus, not focus, but focus. What I do is I take my mic stand, and then I pull it up to about where I would be, right about here. It's going to be pretty loud, so bear with me. And I put it up about to where my face would be, where the road is showing there. And then go back over to my camera, and then we adjust for clarity. And we maybe pull it back just a bit. And there we go. And that's how you do that. If you don't want to do your setup properly the first time and you just want to kind of roll with it and see what happens, which is what I just did. So this should be much more focused. So yeah, so that's something very easy that you can do. Just put something in the way of your camera about at your face. That usually something that has writing on it is really useful, because then you can really fine tune that, and that makes things so much easier, so much better. Let's see. See if I missed anything. Make sure your pixel count is up. Yeah, no kidding. Mine was set at auto 140 pp. Yeah, mine is set pretty high. I'm looking at getting maybe another camera here soon, just so I have like two angles maybe for different shooting, and also because the Sony Alpha R2 has serious battery issues and overheating issues at that, which is kind of a problem. Let me just bring this up just a bit, because good God, such a professional. Yeah, so fun things. Let's see real quick. Let me grab my phone, and what we can do. Let's see, like I put one of the okay, yeah. I put one of my my videos up for advertisement, which has done really, really well. But occasionally you get lots of people that dislike you. One individual definitely seems to be pushing his own personal problems onto me. He definitely wants me to believe that at some point I will be irrelevant, and that this is necessarily a bad thing. The in the whole, like, oh wait, oh yeah, that's his girlfriend's first. Yeah, that is. The middle head is ink, not his, belongs to his girlfriend. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely ink, sitting behind me, being judgmental. But yeah, so this guy definitely kind of went off on me a little bit, and that's okay because he's definitely got every right to. It's definitely his opinion. I think that he believes that being irrelevant or fading into obscurity is something that's like something that's bad, right? You mean ink is sitting in the floor behind you? Figures? No. She's not. She's not. She's not sitting back here. She's in class. Hey, I was just curious what kind of music taste you have. It's kind of everywhere, really. Just really depends on what I'm in the mood for. I don't really like country much. Not really a big country fan, to be honest. So that's something. Everything else is okay. Like, depending on what it is. I like rap and hip hop. I like pop. I like, just general pop music. I like some K-pop, not all the K-pop, but some of the K-pop I definitely like. Trying to think if there's something else, some other thing. Some metal is really good. I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. Spyn, will you donate to my GoFundMe to get Morgaz merch? Morg's merch. I don't know. Let's see. From 1930 to 1940 and 2018 2020, similar events took place. In 1941, Pearl Harbor was bombed. So anyways, Hawaiians, prepare your shit and move. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be. How old are you? You look old. I don't know. How old do you think I am? How old do you honestly think I am? Because I get like a bunch of different age brackets. Not that it really matters. About 34. You're off. I'm 35. But I get a lot of different age brackets. But I get a lot of different age brackets. It's, doesn't really make much. No, it's so close. You were. Oh God, no way. We both guessed 34. Yeah, you're close. You're very close. You're probably some of the only ones to legitimately guess how old I actually am, because I usually get what Connor says, mid to early 20s, which is not correct in the slightest. I am so far beyond my mid to early 20s. Have you ever been out to the West Coast? Yes, I have. If you need any travel tips, you can talk to me on Reddit username. Okay, yeah, sure. To be honest, I thought I was overshooting. I hate many forms wimpy kid books. But yeah, so yeah, most of the time I get I get that kind of thing. So, but you got real close. One of the closest I've ever had someone guess. It's never been that good. Really, I should move this lighting fixture over. I am just all kinds of professional today. I did not do half of the setup I should have done. I just wanted to make sure my stuff wasn't broken, and it's not, which is good, but also means that I don't really have a place for everything yet. It's just a lot of things, but yeah. Can't wait to say that. Wait, I can't say that. I'll get bombarded. Yeah. PogChamp. Can't use it anymore. Not allowed. Not allowed. Some reason, not allowed. I got an airsoft gun for Christmas. That's awesome, dude. I used to play airsoft all the time. I guess you could call what we did competitive play because we played in bigger events, but I don't know, just running around the woods shooting each other with BBs. It's hilarious. How does the emote relate to the Capitol shooting? I don't know that it does. I'm sure someone has decided that it's connected in some way. As far as the whole events with the Capitol goes, that a lot of that seemed very, very planned to me. It was because they got very, very close to buildings that normally you couldn't get within 100 feet of. Seems kind of a little sus to me, Red, but who knows? Maybe they managed to get through. Who knows? All I know is that right now, how things are going, there are plenty of things that could have gone much worse, and it didn't. So unfortunately, there were people that were killed, and that's never something that you want to see happen. As far as everything that happened and that period of time, if you allow a group of people to dictate the flow of democracy based around force, no matter who they are, then you don't have democracy anymore. You have a dictatorship, and that's a real problem for everyone. It becomes a much bigger problem for everyone. Now, you may disagree with me. You may think I'm wrong about that. You may think I'm right about that. But I will say that this is just one of those instances that reminds people that things sometimes are not always exactly as they appear, and that can be a problem. Let's see. A lot of correct. Shoot myself. Yeah, don't do that. I have to go now, Spyn. Hopefully, I'll see you later. If you could post your opinion on what happened yesterday in your Discord server, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, that's pretty much my opinions on it are, I don't know. America seems to be falling apart. The sides can't see eye to eye. Yeah, that does seem to be the case. No one wants to sit down and talk. They just really, they want to engage in a lot of gotcha kind of attitudes. They want to be right, but they also want to they want to own their opponent, and they want to be so right that the other side is definitely wrong and this side is definitely wrong, and no one wants to talk. No one wants that. They want to do, just want to do violence, and it's just what it is. California is a China stay out of the is trying to stay out of the bullshit. Okay, I see. Yeah, it's really wait, is there a Discord server? Yeah, link in the description below. When it comes down to things, I believe that you have a right to peacefully assemble, because that is our First Amendment right. You're allowed to peacefully assemble. It guarantees freedom of speech, freedom of press, all of that. Definitely should not be done. But you can't just bust in to a government facility and, start declaring that you own that. Well, because my taxpayer dollars say that I own this. So, I elected you to go here and do this thing. Okay, cool. Would you do the same to a military base? I mean, you own that too, right? Like if you own one, you own the other. Because if you own the Capitol building, you also should, by logical extent, you should own the military base. And here's my problem with that is you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that because most likely you would be arrested or shot for trying to do that, depending on what it was. It's just that kind of things like where people are saying like, we're going to run into Area 51. They can't shoot us all. You'd be surprised. But there's no real coming together because we're just fracturing more and more apart. And I don't know if we can put the pieces back together. And that's a little scary because there's, you have both sides that hate each other with such like absolute enmity that I don't know that you're going to get them to sit down and really talk. And you might get them to sit down and scream at each other, but they're not going to talk. Not in a way that's going to be productive. Hey, Spyn, I sent you a message in Discord link to some of the things the PogChamp guy said that got him removed. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea about any of that. I try to stay out of that kind of stuff. It's just a constant rolling thing. But here's the thing. The good news is that our democracy is not destroyed. We may be fractured, we may be broken, but we are not destroyed. We can choose to pick the pieces back up. We can choose to understand one another. We can choose to work for a better, brighter future for all of us. We just have to make that choice. We have to stop engaging in the rhetoric that we're engaging in. And we need to start trying to bring everyone together so that we can move forward. Because as it stands, if one half of the boat is rowing to the left and the other is rowing to the right, we are going to be in a lot of shit. So it's a problem. Have you heard about Daryl Davis? I have no idea who that is, so I'm guessing that's a no. I've not heard about that person. Let's see. I'm trying to like read through all of these things here. Try to do that thing. As to Grape, I hope you found the Discord server. It is, everything should be linked down there. The link should work. If it doesn't work for some reason and it doesn't let you auto join, let me know. Rules are in the description. It is a bastion for free speech. You are allowed to talk about anything that you want. Just try to make everything on the level. Don't be rude or crude. Just, have your conversation. I don't know anything about that guy. The only way democracy gets better, I probably should have silenced Discord because it keeps covering up the thing. The only way democracy gets better is if the Democrats and Republican Party are both dismantled. I feel very similar to that because in my personal opinion, neither the Democrats nor the Republicans really represent the people's interests anymore. They represent their own interests. Remember that Congress, both sides, voted to give themselves something like a $57,000 raise to their salary. It was itemized number 17, I think it was, on the list of things that they were spending the COVID relief fund on, which is super infuriating. I think it was number 17, and it was something like $25 million. Now there's 427, I think, I may be wrong, representatives. So if you do the math down, it's about $56,000 a year more. If it's just going to those representatives, I don't know that it's just going to them, but if it is going to just them, maybe going to their aides as well, then they get a huge bonus. But hey, take your $600 and be happy. It's a victory. We should ban political parties like they did in Athens. Well, maybe. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe just having two people that represent different sides of an argument, and you have both of them run. The winner is president, the loser is vice president. So you always have your opponent down the hall looking over your shoulder. And the idea is that if you mess up, that person is right there. I don't know if that's actually going to work. Probably wouldn't. I mean, at this point, we have so much subterfuge that like the person down the hall might actively work to undermine everything you do. There's that ideology as well, and that could be a huge problem, right? Let's see. Yeah, George Washington did say not to divide and make parties. Thank you, admin. And what did we do? At the first available opportunity, we divided and we made parties. And now we're at each other's throats. Out fucking standing. But there has to come a point where we're done. We're over it, and we're not going to take it anymore. And we're just not going to let people be career politicians anymore. There need to be term limits. All of these things. A few politicians have really divided. Real division. They want U.S. to be divided. I mean, it's possible that there are people that desperately want us to be divided. That's something that we were having a conversation about just recently. That maybe they do want us divided, and maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know that to be true, but it's possible. It's possible that they could want that. My personal opinion on it is that it's a lot easier to convince people to keep themselves imprisoned when you divide them, and that could be a huge problem, right? Just think about something I learned in, I believe it was, it was in sociology and criminology. I learned that there was such a thing, that the racial division lines in prisons were encouraged. And the reason that they were encouraged was because it's a lot easier to control the inmates if they're all fighting amongst themselves. If they realized that they could all get together and overwhelm the prison system, they definitely would. And they don't do that because they're too busy fighting each other. And it's so much easier to do terrible things to people when they're too busy fighting each other to realize the person or people that they should be angry at is just over there, and it keeps poking each side with a stick, trying to get it to eat itself. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Like, career politicians should be gone. They don't really have to run against anyone, not really. And even when they do, they can just gerrymander the states so that if they don't think they're going to do favorably in one area, usually in an African-American area, they will just cut the line so that those votes don't count as much. And they can just easily redo that. And it's perfectly legal because we've never done anything to stop it. Do you understand how insane that sounds, guys? Do you really understand how insane that is? That we basically hand a group of people basically a career position of power. They get to decide things long past the point where they understand them. These people decide shit for the internet. These people don't know how to get on the internet. These people aren't capable of making these decisions because they don't have the capacity to understand the implications. They just do what they're told to do because, well, this lobbyist wrote me a bigger check, so I'm going to vote this way. They don't care. If they do know, they don't care. Most of them don't know how their cell phones work. And these people are the ones that get to make rules about this. People that are terrified of guns get to make rules about things. They don't know the rules they're making. One senator, I believe it was a senator, and correct me if I'm wrong, once said, when asked what a barrel shroud was, she said it was the thing on the back that goes up. The thing that on the back that goes up? Are you fucking kidding me? You don't even know what it is, but you want it gone. And saying like, this AR-15, it's capable of shooting 300 rounds a second. 300 rounds a second, the barrel would fucking melt. You don't know what the cyclic rate of the fucking gun is. And you're going to make rules for it. And these are the people that we let do this. And we hand them this position of power. And we also, by the way, you can vote to give yourself a raise. Gee, I wonder how many times you're going to do that. You also get to vote whether or not you have a term limit. Gee, I wonder if you're going to do that. Are you going to do the right thing? No. Of fucking course you're not going to do the right thing. You're going to do the thing that lines your goddamn pocket. You skeezy, slummy motherfucking politician. Of course you're going to do that. Because you're not really interested in the American people. You're not interested in serving the country. You're interested in serving yourself. You serve yourself first and us last. That's what you do. And holy shit, are all of us fucking tired of it. And I know that no politician is probably ever going to see this little video on the internet. They won't, nor will they care. But on the off chance that they do, I fucking beg you, please understand what was meant by public servant. Do your time, go back to your farm. Do what's best for the people. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'll get off my soapbox now, as Gabriel likes to point out. But I really do mean that. I really do hope that people understand that there's a lot of things that are very important. Our Constitution is very important. It's not a sacred or holy document. It can be changed. It can be altered. But it's very important. And it's important to us. I'm very much a big, 2A advocate. I own guns. I love my guns, and I train with my guns. I know how to use them, and I understand how dangerous they are. But holy shit, can you not do this to us? That would be great if just for a second you thought of someone besides your fucking selves. Because all of us are done with it. We're over that. I know the petty little shit that we argue about, like inside the fandom and all the rest of that, all this shit, cancel culture, all of this, all the shit that we argue about, like, petty little things, trying to get one up on each other, is nothing compared to the idea that our government could decide to systematically oppress us. And all we have is this piece of paper that tells them they can't. And they're promised to be a civil servant and uphold those laws. And I don't think they want to do that anymore. As they said, and I will say this very publicly, a government should be afraid of its people, not the other way around. It's been said 100 times. It kills me when people who can't tell the difference between a clip and a magazine try to make gun laws. That's true. If you don't know the difference between a clip and a magazine, can you please stop trying to make laws about something you don't understand? Educate yourself and then come back, and then we can talk about it. You want to talk about gun laws? Let's talk about mental health. We've always had guns in America. It's only been recently that things have gone so fucking wrong. What's changed? And it's not availability, because you could go to a fucking hardware store and buy a gun. It's just, and a fully automatic one at that. You could buy, literally, you could do this. I think there's still ads, you can find them for old hardware store ads that had the Thompson submachine gun. And I believe it was fully automatic when you bought it. I don't think that there was any things like that. So there's plenty of things that people say, and they're like, "Oh, well, you didn't have access to guns like that." Fuck, I've never been able to go down to the hardware store and purchase a fucking machine gun, but apparently you could. I'm sorry, a submachine gun, because it was not, a full caliber. It was a sub. Let's see. I think having someone who represents the furry community and has a news reporter would be ideal for protecting the community. I don't know if that would be good or bad or indifferent. It's because the media is given all shooter fucking documentaries and publishing manifestos. I don't care about the shooter. I do not care about the shooter. I care about the victims. Like, when's the lot? Like, we know every shooter's face, but we don't really know anything about the victims because that's not interesting. The media doesn't shove that in your face, but they definitely shove in your face the guy. And they'll definitely be like, there'll be a made-for-TV movie about the whole fucking thing. And someone will profit over like 20, 30 people, like innocent people's deaths. Holy shit. And we're okay with that. We're just fucking okay with it. We're just okay with these things. And I'm sorry I'm going off on a fucking rant. It has nothing to do with this setup and, how to help other people and all the rest of that. But this is important shit. It is. And if you don't believe me, that's fine. You don't have to. But please understand that, like, no one wants anyone to get hurt. No one wants anyone to get killed. And more importantly, like, we don't want to know about a person that has mass murdered a bunch of people. I don't care what his motivations are. He's a piece of shit, or she, or they, or whatever. They are a piece of shit. I don't care about that human detritus. I care about his victims or her victims or whatever. I care about the victims. Let's see. Need approval voting long-term and term limits. Approved voting has been proven, I guess, to be best according to computer simulations. Let's see. Honestly, the media is so corrupt and immoral that they would sell you suicide without a second thought. Of course they would. Gray, just tuning in. Could you quickly give me a summary of what's going on? So we talked about a whole bunch of political nonsense. I kind of went on a bit of a rant about politicians and there needs to be actual civil servants and step down and their inability to keep up with modern technology and their still desire to make rules about said technology that they don't understand, or guns that they don't understand, still making laws about that. So a lot of 1A, 2A amendment talk right then and there, but it was mainly primed by my opinions of what happened in DC, which, realistically, you can't storm into a government facility. You don't actually own that. You own it as much as you own a military base, and you should storm one just as quickly as you do the other. Meaning that you should not be storming military or government institutions. It doesn't make you look good. I once had an idea that anyone who wanted to buy a gun has to go under prescribed mental evaluation. Well, that's the problem, though. It's just like if you have prescribed mental evaluations for people that want to buy guns, then it gives the state the ability to effectively disarm anyone they would like, because you could just basically say, well, you failed, because it would have to be a state registry of whether or not you've been evaluated mentally. And there's no real good answer to that. Because, yeah, it would be great if we could do that. The consequence of that is that it gives the government a tool to disarm its citizenry. So we're kind of in this catch-22 situation where we don't want to give weapons to people that are mentally unstable. So how do you find out if they're mentally unstable? Well, you make them take an evaluation, of course. Well, okay, so who gets to determine what that evaluation is, and who gets to determine whether or not you pass that evaluation? Is it going to be state run? Is it going to be private run? It's probably going to be state run. It's going to be government held. So when the government decides that maybe you shouldn't have a weapon, then all of a sudden you start failing your mental evaluations. And all of a sudden the ATF starts knocking at your door saying, hey, we see you have X number of weapon systems. You've now failed this mental evaluation. We're going to need all those back. Thank you very much. We flashbanged your dog. You know, that kind of thing. Spyn, I got a bit of a funny story from a buddy. Got an airsoft M16, and it just so happened to have an M16 bayonet and fit on it. It honestly is really funny. Yeah, don't play airsoft with real bayonets. There's horrible consequences. The consequence can be catastrophic. When man tampers with forces they don't understand. This is true, of course. Let's go rocket launchers at Walmart. You know, realistically, the Second Amendment, again, can't fucking get away from it, can I? The Second Amendment is there for a good reason. It really is. And it doesn't mean your dad's hunting rifle. It really doesn't. It's, you know, there's like, these are weapons of war. Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, in fact, they are. That's what this is for. You were supposed to be able to have those things. And like, we have people that say like, oh, well, you shouldn't have these things. And you're not allowed to buy a tank, which is technically untrue. You can definitely buy a tank. You can't buy one that functions like with a main battle gun or anything on it. Those rocket launchers would blow up instantly, probably. Yeah, I wouldn't trust a Walmart brand rocket launcher. You know, I would not be like, you know, buy low prices, you know, take it out back to the range and test it out. You know, I don't think that will ever be a thing. I don't think that we'll see the day that we would be able to afford the things necessary. But it's kind of a problem. And it's not one that has an easy solution, because I would love for there to be an easy solution. I would love for there to be something that we could do to make everyone happy. But I just don't think that there is. I don't think really, honestly, truly, there is anything that we can do that makes everyone happy. You know, it's just, you know, you don't want to see people get hurt. But you also, you know, you can't strip rights away from law-abiding citizens because of another person. You know, but I mean, you got to think about the fact that people say like, well, guns killed X number of people. Yeah, we should ban them all. Correct? Right? They kill people, ban it. Right? Kills people, ban it. It's been used as a violent instrument in so many deaths. Ban it. Okay, got it. We're banning things that have killed way too many people, and we're going to ban guns. All right. Say you do that. Fine. Should also probably talk about banning cars too, because they have killed more people than guns have. Period. End of discussion. They definitely have. They've killed more innocents, you know, just in general. Police have killed more people than mass shootings. I believe that to be right. I don't know about the statistics on that. So I'd have to see the statistics on that one. I do know that cars have definitely killed more people than guns have. Year-to-year basis, every year, cars kill way more people than guns. Ban air, it carried COVID. Yeah, I mean, it's effectively these things that we get into where I think that there's so much we could do better, and we just don't. I'm from the UK, and our citizens can't normally carry guns. What's your thoughts on that? Well, your government is based around the ideology that only certain people could carry weapons anyway, right? So whereas our country came from your country, and you guys said, hey, give us your guns. And we said, cool, ammo first. And, you know, we did that thing. So our country is very, very different in that one regard. I mean, we still hold a lot of roots to the United Kingdom, a lot of our immigrants, a lot of our families, a lot of our prominent families are from the UK, Germany, kind of thing, which I know is not part of the United Kingdom, but still in Europe in general. That's just what it is. So my thoughts are, I wish you guys were able to carry weapons, because it doesn't really matter, like at all, if you were able to carry or not. People will still do terrible things, as you've definitely seen already. There are plenty of stabbings. There's still people that get shot. Admittedly, it's less, but at the same time, they say, like, oh, it's less. Cool. It's also the size of Florida. So what's your point? Let's see. Let's see. The UK also sent a guy to prison for teaching a pug to do the Nazi salute. Clearly not the brightest bunch. Well, they did that on. There's a lot of things about Nazi propaganda and things like that. It's still very, very fresh in a lot of people's minds. And I know in Germany you can't own a piece of Nazi propaganda, like what's the word? Paraphernalia, without suffering some consequence of law. So, Gray, to you, as it comes to carrying weapons, I am sorry that you guys cannot carry weapon systems to protect yourselves. As we say here, when seconds count, the cops are only minutes away. And also, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6 any day of the week. But I mean, that's basically it, right? So I hope that kind of answers your question in regards to like how I feel on it, because I think that the UK has it has its roots in a completely different place. The USA has its roots in revolution. Our entire founding was baptized in fire, blood, and guns, violence. That's what we did. That's still what we do. And guns are almost religious here. It's probably the only religion I would probably follow, because it's the only one I see real reason to follow, because it just doesn't seem to work that way. It was a joke. The joke was trying to make the pug the most horrible thing you could. I mean, a pug's already the most horrible thing you could make a pug. You should already feel bad for it. You shouldn't try to make the pug a Nazi too. It makes it worse. I will note that I do feel pretty safe walking the streets, knowing I won't likely be shot. Sure, there's a risk of stabbing, but that would exist with or without guns. My thoughts anyway. The problem with that, and I definitely understand your sentiments on that. So yeah, you can definitely feel safe knowing that you won't be shot, but you can't feel safe knowing you won't be stabbed. And it's like, well, that would happen anyway. Well, that's also true, but aren't they trying to make knives illegal as well? So here's the road. Here's the thing. It hurts. Make it illegal. Here's the thing. It hurts. Make it illegal. Here's the thing. It hurts. Make it illegal. And the answer to everything is make it illegal. And I disagree with that, because I think that at that point, eventually you're going to have a government agent by your house when you want to cut up vegetables, because God forbid, you might have a knife with a point, or maybe you have too many rocks and you could pick one up and maybe you could wing it at your neighbor. Oh, well, then rocks should be illegal. And you can make that straw man argument, and it's very, of course, this is like hyperbolic, this is way, way out there, but like the same advertisements for like anti-gun that I see in the US are the same advertisements I'm seeing in the UK for knives. So draw from that what you will, but it does seem like that's what's going on. Now, you might disagree with me, and that's okay. You're welcome to do so. I think that the UK has a right to its laws, and we have a right to ours. I don't necessarily think that feeling safe when you walk down the street is a price I would willingly pay for getting rid of my firearm, because I feel safe with my firearm walking down the street, regardless of where I am. And my reasoning for this is there's a phrase that any person that would willingly sacrifice their freedom for safety deserves neither. And I think that's what's happening. But again, I would like to reiterate that America is a completely different country, and we were born out of this. Whereas the UK always had limitations on who could own anything. So that's a big thing. That's a big deal. The culture of the UK is so much different than the culture of, well, America. We're just different in those regards. I'm not saying better. I'm not saying worse. I'm saying different. I'm saying that there's things that you should always remember that, and I don't mean to come off as offensive or whatever. You definitely have a right to everything that's over there. But for us, we have a right to ours. And my thoughts on it is that I wish that the UK would understand that it's not the knife, it's not the gun, it's not the anything, it's the people doing it that are a problem, not a tool. Because I can get any one of my guns out and we can load it, we can lay it directly on the table and nothing will happen. It's not responsible for death. It's as responsible for death as a fork is for like making you gain weight. It's as responsible for death as a pen is for writing bad words. For the sake of argument, where draw the line? If guns are fine, why not assault weapons? They should be. Why not bombs? They should be. Then why not nuclear weapons? They definitely are. I know it's pretty obvious why, but just think on it. Assault weapons should be legal because the Second Amendment was there for a reason. Again, it's not your dad's hunting rifle. It's meant for weapons of war. If you cannot effectively combat your government, then they have no reason to be afraid of you. And a government that's not afraid of you is a tyrannical one that is capable of oppressing its people and will oppress its people. These things are definitely legal. They use them all the time. The idea, it's just that citizenry somehow should not be allowed to own certain things. Why? Well, what's the reason? If you're a law-abiding person, are you assuming that if I had a bomb, I would use it? Are you assuming if I had a nuke, I would use it? Because that's basically the idea, is if you had it, you'd use it. Should it be legal for me to have? Yeah, it should. If I can pay the money for it, sure, right? If I can pay the money for an assault weapon, I can still own an assault weapon. In the US, I don't know if you know this, but assault weapons are definitely legal to own, provided you have all of the right things. It's a Class 3 weapons license is what it's called. And you need a stamp for each gun. The working components inside the guns can be no younger than 1985, I believe. But you can still have a fully automatic weapon system. Now, I personally think that they're fairly useful. Also, assault weapons is kind of a misnomer because any weapon that you use to assault someone is an assault weapon. That's not necessarily the case. Again, I'm happy to have the discussion with you. I hope this doesn't come off as very aggressive or argumentative. I am trying to be informative, but also at the same time, there are a lot of these arguments I've heard before. Is like, well, then why not nukes? Well, I mean, could you afford a nuke? Could you afford a silo? Could you afford the complex array of guidance for like an ICBM? You know how much safer the streets would be if everyone had a house? That's true. We worry so much about one thing that we don't worry about another thing. And it's just like a knife ain't going to stop someone on PCP running at you. That's true. Knife will not do that. Sometimes guns won't do that either. I didn't see that, Connor. But it is that, and I understand that. Not you per se, but more powerful, the weapon of choice, like a nuclear weapon, could have much more devastating consequences if abused. If so, but the only people that have ever abused these weapon systems have been governments of the world, not its people. Also, I do understand and respect your opinions, and I do understand and respect your opinions as well. I respect you for coming and having the conversation with me. There are plenty of people that would not do so, and I respect your opinions. I respect your ability to hold them. I humbly disagree with some of the statements because I think that it leads us down a line where everyone is effectively reliant upon the government for your own safety. And I think that at a certain point, you should be reliant on your own person for your own safety. Now, if you could remove all weapon systems, all of those, and we go back to swords and shields and bows and arrows, would I do that? And the answer, of course, is yes, I would definitely do that. I would definitely, if we all had to go back to just your skill with a blade, and whatnot, then sure. I mean, it might be ideological of me to think this way, but sure, I'd be happy to go back to that, provided everyone's on an even playing field. And the thing about it is weapon systems such as the AR-15, which is technically one of the best weapons to defend yourself, is fantastic for someone who can't otherwise defend themselves against a bigger, stronger opponent. And I think that guns are important. I think guns are necessary. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. You're allowed to. And you can tell me in the comments below. You can tell me here in the live chat if you are catching this live. But I know why I believe these things. And I think that a number of people don't know why they believe guns should be illegal or certain things should be illegal. The more dangerous looking the gun, the more illegal it should be, is usually what I get. There are, of course, cases where domestic terrorism and mass shootings happen, though, right? Yes, that's true. And those would have not been possible with assault weaponry and guns. They definitely would not be possible without guns if guns didn't exist. But you're also suggesting that these guns were purchased legally. In which case, in most cases, for these kind of things, most guns are not necessarily purchased legally. Certain cases they are, certain cases they're not. Of course, these kind of things happen, but is that really the fault of the gun, or is that the fault of the person that these particular pieces of human detritus decide to take out their personal aggressions and mommy didn't hug me enough on an innocent citizenry? These people that did these things are messed up in the head. They're just messed up. They're broken. And I think that carries something that's much more important than whether or not they had a gun or a knife or a stick or a bomb. Because there are plenty of people just recently in Tennessee, someone blew up, I think it was several blocks with explosive devices, and they got all of that at Home Depot, presumably. I believe it's the same thing. Like Timothy McVeigh, I believe. Plenty of those people have done more damage with other things that were purchased legally. Well, how would you suggest these sorts of incidents be prevented, if not via the tool of attack, guns, for example? Realistically, we need a much more comprehensive understanding of mental health, and we need to stop stigmatizing mental health as being something to be ashamed of. Because in this country, I don't necessarily know about yours. I would assume it's relatively the same. Mental health is seen as a huge stigma. And also, Connor has a point. You need to absolutely stop idolizing shooters and giving them 15 minutes of fame, because it just increases the desire for someone else who feels disenfranchised and that they haven't gotten that. That they feel more. They feel like there should be more attention paid to them, and they will do those things or avenge themselves on other people. And it's a lot of mental health. A lot of this is mental health. A lot of this is understanding where our mental health system is, its weaknesses, which is basically we as a people think mental health is something that to be ashamed of. We really do. It's been kind of pieced into us slowly but surely, and so people don't receive help, or they don't seek help. And then things like this sometimes happen. There are other things as well. I think the Texas water tower sniper, he had something that was actually seriously wrong with him. He had a medical condition, a tumor that was growing in his brain that increased his lack of critical thinking, and a number of other things. There's a whole expose on that thing. And the whole reason that he did this, and in his suicide note, was told them to cut his head open and see what was wrong with him, because he couldn't stop himself. And those are things as well. Of course, mental illness is largely a contributing factor to these shootings, but I would assume that not in every case mental illness, and for some shootings, are done with malintent for them. For those that are malintent, I think if we got rid of the mental illness problem, that a lot of the school shootings, the mass shootings, all of those things would go away. It's also important to note that if there's even a small incident on a campus anywhere, this means that you could accidentally have your gun in the car, and it will still be registered under the same notations as gun incident, which feeds into the overarching how many school shootings there were. There could just be a firearm that was discharged near a school, and however by accident, it could be an AD, or an accidental discharge, and that would still count towards that. And you can see how the numbers can get skewed real quick when you start factoring in all of these things, right? And so when it comes to shooters with a malicious intent, that's a lot harder to stop. In fact, realistically, it goes back to the saying: the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And so my answer would generally be that someone who's there to rob someone there that's, you can't stop someone from robbing someone unless you intend on using force, whether it be lethal or non-lethal, because that person is going to commit a violent act. So that would be, I guess, kind of the long and short of how you would have to do it. But I think that the mental health problem in the U.S. is far, far more reaching and needs to be dealt with, because we've got so much that we have to work on to be better for ourselves, and for our children, and and for the rest of the world, for that matter. Because if we want to keep our rights to bear arms, if we want to keep this, then we need to understand it's that kind of Uncle Ben logic. With great power comes great responsibility, and guns are a great power, and with it comes this great responsibility. So I need you guys to understand that I don't take owning a gun lightly. Yes, they are fun. Going to the range with friends and being safe with them is fun. Doing something kind of dumb it's going to cause everyone to have not a good day. So, if you are lucky enough to live in this country, then yeah, you should take it seriously. I'm not familiar with the statistics being from broad. That's fine. The statistics are always getting changed. You can look at the FBI statistics and you can start to piece them down if you really, really want to deep dive into it. How many of these shootings are stopped by good intent gun owners? There's a number of cases where that happened. Most famously, recently, a gunman entered a church with the intent to kill as many people as possible, and I believe, I don't know who did it. I think there was a guy in the back. It might have been an usher that drew his weapon and shot the man dead. I don't believe there were any casualties, or rather, I don't believe there were any deaths. There may have been some casualties. By that, I mean wounds, people that were wounded. That could have been a thing. There are a number of times that there's plenty of videos that you can see if you choose to go looking for them of individuals that have tried to rob a convenience store or otherwise tried to shoot somebody, and then they were effectively stopped by individuals that were carrying weapons for their own personal protection. And I think that was a very positive thing. And in my personal, this is quickly becoming a 2A talk, which is fine with me. I'm really gonna focus on my channel and like furry content and stuff and having a good time. But I do not mind having this conversation in the slightest. Let's see. As far as mass shootings, Connor does actually have a point there. Mass shootings usually take place in places that guns are not allowed to be carried. They're gun-free zones. So, and that happens, right? If you only shoot a gun at a gun range, then should the gun range have the gun then? No, they shouldn't. You go to the gun range to practice with your weapon system. You go to the gun range to have that weapon system be more familiarized with you. You don't keep you do not keep your system there. It would be completely useless. Right. I got carried away with the debate. Anyway, yeah. Let's hear about furry stuff. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I really enjoy actually having the conversation because it's something that I'm very happy to talk about because I'm very passionate about it. I can go shoot it at my house if I'm in the country. Yeah, if you're in the country, you can definitely shoot at your house. Let's see. This is good. Yes, you should definitely practice with your weapon systems if you have weapon systems. Practice makes perfect. Actually, perfect practice makes perfect. Bad practice makes shitty technique. Okay, and pistols are largely used in shootings because you can conceal more of them on you, and a rifle is difficult to conceal. Most of the time, it is. Most of the time, rifles are difficult to conceal, so pistols are used in the vast majority of violent crime. I carry mine. All of my friends carry theirs. We're all, fairly armed at any given point, except when it is illegal to do so. And that includes most government buildings. You can't have a firearm in. Movie theaters, things like that. Not that any of us are going to movie theaters right now anyway, but just for the example, those as well. Anyway, this has gone on for like an hour. I'm sorry, guys. I meant to talk about something else, but this was just a really interesting topic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really do. For those of you that came here looking for furry stuff, I'm all about that. But I'm also a 2A guy, so I really, really enjoy talking about firearms, and I enjoy answering your questions to the best of my ability. Just remember that if I don't have an answer for you, that doesn't mean the answer doesn't exist. It just is what it is. right? Let's see. Opinion on UK weapon situation. Already did that, Rat King. You missed the whole thing with Gray and myself talking about it. You should go back, listen to it. It's pretty good. You know, Gray makes some good points. I feel like I made some good points. I feel like I answered as best as I could to Gray's opinions. I hope I'm saying that right. Grey. I believe I'm saying that right. If I'm not, let me know. Cycle back later. It's good. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I think just about time for me to go and cook dinner, I believe. You know, I believe so. I believe it's almost time to cook dinner. Yes, I believe it is. So I'm gonna have to jump off of here now. But thank you guys so much for all like coming and hanging out with me. Like always, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give the last 5 minutes over to you guys to ask any questions that you happen to want to ask, and I will do my level best to answer them no matter what they're about. So starting now, 5 minutes, go. Anything you want to ask. And after that, we're going to end the live stream and then do things. Or rather, you guys are going to get back to your lives, and I'm going to get to cooking because I'm hungry, and I know Ink's hungry too. And if I don't feed her, it becomes a problem for me. So I should probably feed her. That might actually be her. No. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Probability of a U.S. Civil War. Just as likely as anything else, I suppose. It's not looking awesome, but I don't know about Civil War kind of thing right now. Will you start a Minecraft server? I guess I could start a Minecraft server if there was enough interest in it. Man, I feel silly now. I had my breakfast earlier. It's all right, dude. Don't worry about it. Let's see. If there was enough interest in the Minecraft server, I guess I could put one up for people if they were really interested. Okay. It's like 10 p.m. here. Nice. Something. I don't know. All right, we got. Looks like another 3 minutes left. Another 3 minutes. Ask anything you want. If there are no more questions, I will just end the stream early because I am rather hungry. But I'm doing this as a courtesy to all of you guys to ask any last minute questions you might have. Suit maker, which one? This one over here. This boy is Lemon Brat. This one is okay. You can see my finger now. This one is New Creations. Pizza or actual cooking. I'm actually going to cook real food. You know, for me and Ink. How much interest needed for a Minecraft server? I don't know. Let's be generous and say that you had 10 people that really wanted it. I might put one up. You know, minimum at least 10 people. Yeah, minimum at least 10 people. You get 10 people together, not including myself, and I'll put up a Minecraft server for what do we call ourselves? What my it's just I mean my you know, are you guys like my army, or are you guys something else? You know, that's a good question. Well, with 4.53K subs, that shouldn't be too hard. Maybe you know, it shouldn't be, but maybe we'll see. I really need to tone the lights down, I think. I'll adjust all of this later. It's fine. All right. We got about 2 minutes left. But yeah, find 10 people. They really want it that badly. I'll think about it. We are your abyss. Are you my abyss walkers? Is that what you are? Because that's where Spyn tends to speak from. I remember finding you from the ads. Yeah. I still do the ads occasionally. I'm doing one right now. People hate it. People hate that I do ads. I love that. Get to the Discord server for a Minecraft server petition. Yeah. Put it on Discord. You get 10 people to sign it, you'll have your server. Figure it out. I haven't played Minecraft in forever. But you'll have a server that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. I don't know how big I should make it, but it's whatever. Yeah. I posted something. All right. Sounds good. All right. Last chance for questions, guys, before we end the stream and we say our goodbyes and our good nights and all the rest of that. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this this stream. Hold on one second. I like the ads, but it's just a huge opening up to a ton of hate. If there are only furries seeing them, then it'd be great. But unfortunately, it draws tons of hate. Hi, Spyn. How are you? I'm doing really good, Magnus. We're actually just ending the stream. I'm super sorry that you came in late, but you did get your last question in, and I'm doing great, and I hope you're doing fantastic as well. Gray, I have tried to retarget the ads to kind of weed out some people that ultimately don't want to see it anyway. But in any case, I may put Warhammer 40K like back on a list of things to target just to see how much hate I get. It would be kind of fun. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me again. We should have a new video out for you soon. It's going to be the next one I'm going to be working on is going to be on all of the different things I like to do, just general sort of hobbies and things for you guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, share this with your friends, share all the videos with all of your friends. Let them know the glory that is our channel. Make them join our almighty force as we strive to dominate furry YouTube for some reason. I'm not really certain what the point's going to be, but we're doing it. So thank you guys again so much. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And I hope you have a fantastic night. Thank you all for the great conversations. It was fantastic. I'm sorry that it was a giant soapbox for political discussion and for discussing First Amendment and Second Amendment. But those are really important. And go look those things up if you think that I was wrong about something, and tell me in the comments down below. I love learning things. And if I was wrong, I want to know. So good night, guys. Thank you. I'm going to turn this off and then hopefully find a place for all of my shit because it's gone everywhere. Good night, guys.